Okay, so reservoir engineering is basically the management and optimization of the reserves that are present. So basically, in reservoir engineering, we try to analyze the properties of the reservoir, and after that, we try to design a model with the help of different softwares in order to predict the behavior of that field for the current years. Now, for that, there are various techniques that we consider, and basically, we are going to discuss the basics of reservoir engineering, which starts with that of the analyzing the properties of the reservoir. After analyzing the properties, which includes which type of rock it is, like it is a shale rock or it is a sandstone rock. Now each rock has its own permeability, which affects the whole designing of the whole designing process. So according to the reservoir properties, we design the whole process, that which kind of recovery will be used. It varies according to the rock and its properties of the reservoir. Now, to take a note of the reservoir properties is, I guess, the first step that we go through in order to design the whole treatment. So basically, we first analyze the reservoir properties, and for that we have seismic surveys. Then there is well logging. Then there is laboratory measurements. All of these of the rock is done in order to get an insight of the properties of the rock, which further helps us to acknowledge which process that we are going to conduct further. Now, once we have done the simulation, now we decide which kind of the production strategies that we are going to apply. So basically, there are three types of recoveries or production strategies: primary, secondary, and tertiary, or the enhanced oil recovery. Primary is basically the natural flow of oil and gas, in which the oil is pushed towards the production well naturally from the pressure that is already present in the reservoir without applying any force from outwards. Then there is the gas cap drive, that in which there is oil above which there is some layer of the gas, and gas pushes the oil towards the production well. So in primary recovery, in most of the reservoirs, usually secondary and tertiary recovery are required in order to extract the full potential of the reservoir. Primary recovery is initial basis. After that, there is the secondary recovery. Now hydrofracturing comes into the secondary recovery. Secondary recovery, basically we use water in order to extract more oil or push more oil out of the reservoir. So as we know, in hydrofracturing we use water and chemicals in order to increase the oil and sweep more oil from the reservoir. And then there is the EOR method, that is the enhanced oil recovery method, in which there is the polymer injection or there is the CO2 injection into the reservoir in order to extract more oil. So these are the basic three recoveries, and according to the properties of the reservoir, according to the simulation that we have achieved, after analyzing all of that, the reservoir engineer will decide which production strategy is going to be applied. So there is a variation of these strategies as well, like there is a steam injection. Then then you can do there are a lot of strategies that you can apply. So after analyzing the whole reservoir properly, then we need to decide which strategy we are going to apply. Okay, so once you have the insights of which kind of properties the reservoir possesses, after that we go into the simulation. Now every company follows their own software for simulation. Like the Carboceramics has the Frac Pro, then there is CMG, then Schlumberger has its own. So basically all of these simulation software work on the principle of a mathematical model, Like they create a mathematical model of the reservoir which could predict the future of the reservoir, like what production will it give in the future. So basically, once we create the reservoir, once we get the insights of the reservoir properties, and once we place that properties and input that parameters inside the simulation, it will give us a detailed log of what kind of oil, what percentage of oil can be produced. Now, doing this will help us to get further knowledge about the production of the reservoir, how much it will produce in the coming years, and what can we do to improve the production. So basically, a simulation helps us to analyze the reservoir in such a way that we can predict its behavior and also take the analysis of the current production that has been made with the real-time data. So basically, I would like to conclude by saying that reservoir engineering plays a vital role in the whole production and exploration process, as it helps us in various ways. The stimulation helps us in predicting the behavior of the oil and gas in the production of the wells of the reservoir in future. Also, it also helps us to analyze whether the whole operation is going to be economically viable, which is the important thing in order to carry out a successful and profitable project. So reservoir engineering is a vast topic. It has various insights into it. The production strategies as well are very in detail, in depth. So this whole video was a basic about what is reservoir engineering and how can you break it down into few pieces. Hope you liked it.